Chapter 26, Cancún, 1986. Impossible is a word to be found only in the dictionary of the defeated. Napoleon Bonaparte. Excuse me, muchacho. The night shift janitor woke me up. Would you move to another bench, please? What? What time is it? I woke up confused. I must have looked like one of those bums you see in big city parks or train and bus stations. Well, young man, besides it being 2 o'clock in the morning, it's time for me to clean the bench you were sleeping on, kindly said the middle-aged, indigenous, Mayan-looking janitor. Yes, of course. I quickly rolled up my sleeping bag and tied it up to my backpack. May I go to the other bench over there? Yes, young man, that's already clean, said the janitor. How much longer until I'm settled? I want to have a room. I want to have my own bed. Were my last thoughts before I fell asleep again on the hard, humid, and hot bench. Much like some places in the tropics, Cancún was hot and humid even in early spring. Zzz, I started dreaming again, dreaming of past adventures, conquerors. Where will my next adventure be? Freeze the story. Since the first day I arrived to Cancún, I was tired and hungry, although sleeping made me forget about it. Jobless and homeless, I had left Tijuana 10 days ago, and here I was, sitting on the white sand of Cancún Beach. To the right, Cancún overlooked the spectacular Caribbean Sea, and to the left, the grandiose Gulf of Mexico. Being here reminded me of my ancestors' stories of being conquistadores, travelers, and adventurers. You see, mijo, when the white devil came, Grandpa Indo started telling me. When I was a little kid, Grandpa told me exciting stories. He was a proud descendant of the brown Tarascan warrior people. The devil, Grandpa? The devil came? I asked, squeezing my grandpa's hand ever so tight. No, mijo, not the devil, said Grandpa, but rather the pale-skinned, hairy, and deceiving Spanish devil. The Spaniards lied and cheated. They squashed our culture and took our land. Did they take little kids like me? I asked, more scared now. The after devil was one thing. He doesn't take things, he just scares people, I thought. That was a long time ago, mijo. You don't have to worry about them taking you, smiled Grandpa, hugging me tight. How long ago, Grandpa? How long ago? Are they all dead? I asked. I wanted to make sure there were no more white devils taking people away. Don't worry, mijo. That happened almost 500 years ago. After that, things got complicated. They stayed with our people. They had children with our women. And now most of us have Spanish blood. And therefore, we are related to them. Ironic, isn't it? That didn't give me peace of mind. But I kept on listening and asking questions. I wanted to know everything there was to know about both my ancestors' bloodlines. Somehow, even though I was a mestizo, my grandpa Pancho, my father's dad, claimed that he had pure Spanish blood, while Grandpa Indo, my mother's dad, claimed that he had pure Tarascan blood. However, my curiosity when I was a kid was irrelevant right now. Today, this moment, I was hungry. I needed to get a job. I needed to get a place to stay. Back to my story. Good morning, Joven. The janitor woke me up again. It's time for you to leave the bus station. My boss will be here soon. Get up. Go get a job. Here's a piece of bread and some chocolate to get you started, smiled the old man, sharing his breakfast with me. Thank you, sir. Thank you, I said, embarrassed. While this was not the first time I'd been hungry, homeless, or jobless, I did not like it when I couldn't support and take care of myself. Here's today's newspaper. The janitor handed me the classifieds. It's a matter of time, young man. There's plenty of jobs, plenty of opportunities. Cancún is a young and promising city, and a great place to work and start a new life. Yeah, I've been looking, but I have not been lucky yet. But you're right, I said, remembering my uncle saying that getting a job is a numbers game. "You're not pickpocketing, are you?" the janitor asked quietly. "You've been sleeping in the bus station, using the benches as your bed, our public restrooms as your shower, and our tables as your living room. Yet, every day you come with money to buy snacks. How are you getting money?" Smiling proudly, I retorted, "Well, sir, I'm glad you asked. You should know that I am an artist. I sing." "Oh, do you? Do tell, young man, do tell." "How does a singing artist make money?" smiled the janitor. "It's easy. In between my job search, I ride the public bus. I play my guitar, I sing, and I go around the passengers who seem to like my performances. They clap and smile. I transfer buses to downtown and out of town, and I get most of my money from people with a suit and tie," I said matter-of-factly. "I see. But besides their artistic clapping approval, do they tip or pay you?" the janitor pried. "Oh yeah, they give me nickels and dimes. People who ride the bus are not rich, you know. If they were, they'd be riding their own car," I said conclusively, thinking, what do you care about how I get my own money? I started to get worried though. What if the janitor was not a janitor? What if he was an informant? I hadn't forgotten the reason I had left Tijuana. Besides knowing that I didn't want to go, or much less move and live in the United States, my uncle Isidro had been specific. Leave Tijuana, go to Cancun, keep a low profile, make it look like you're a struggling young man trying to make your way through life. If your enemies were onto you in Tijuana, most likely they will be onto you in Cancun. Don't let your guard down. Hang in there. Your life depends on it. As important as running away from my enemies, I also wanted to travel to far and magical places. My plan was to work a few months in Cancun, have some fun, save some money, then go to Brazil, then work for a few months, save some money, then move to Spain. Once in Spain, work for a few months. Well, you get the picture. But right now I was worried. And like every time I was worried, I took a mental break. It was like that. I let my mind travel back in time. Freeze the story. "Is my grandpa Pancho a white devil, Grandpa Indo?" I asked. "He says his family is from Spain, and that the reason he's blonde and blue-eyed is that he's not a mestizo." "I don't like talking about you, Grandpa Pancho, mijo," said Grandpa Indo. "I guess, depending on your interactions with your grandpa, you'll have to be the judge of what he is or what he is not." "What did the Spaniards want from the Aztecs and Tarascans, Grandpa?" I asked, trying to understand why Grandpa Indo resented the white devils. "They wanted gold, riches, and slaves to rule over, mijo. But more than that, they wanted to impose on us their dirty customs, their false religion, and their corrupt government. Their system protects the rich, the powerful, and the ones with blue blood lineage," Grandpa Indo said. "Was the Tarascan's government better than the Europeans, Grandpa?" I asked inquisitively. "Mijo, the white man's government system is focused on greed. The ancient government of Aztecs and Tarascans, before the conquest, was based on the Calpulli. The Calpulli was a group of people who owned land and things together. They had small villages that operated independently. They had their own social rules, their own schools, temples, and priests. They elected a chief, almost like a congressman, representing the Calpulli village, among other Calpullis. It was sort of what people call now socialism," concluded Grandpa. History had always fascinated me. It gave me a sense of belonging, a sense of direction, and an understanding of who I was. Things hadn't changed much though, before or after the conquest. Today, I was homeless, it was getting cold. I wanted to get on with it, especially here in Cancun. I was young and I wanted to enjoy the goodies that this 24/7 spring break worldwide tourist destination had to offer. My native language was Spanish, and while I lived in Tijuana, I attended the College of Languages, so I learned French and English. I was ready to play. But how could I? Uncle Isidro had told me to be careful, and that people might still be after me. Oh, before I forget, on my way from Tijuana to Cancun, I hitchhiked all the way, almost 3,000 miles. When I left Tijuana though, I went back to Apatzingan to see my grandma. my mom, my family, and my friends one last time. I knew I'd be traveling the world and I didn't know when or if I'd be back. So when I was in a Pats and Gun, my mom had asked me what my plans were. I told her that I just wanted to see the world. She asked me if I had money to travel. I said yes. She asked me if I had a job waiting for me in Cancun. I said yes. She asked me if I had a place to stay in Cancun. I said yes. Well, I lied about the 3 accounts. I didn't have money. I mean no money. And I didn't have a job waiting for me in Cancun or a place to stay. I didn't have anything. I just left, trusting God and my wits to chase my dreams. Back to my story. Where are you from anyway, Joven? The janitor asked, eating his torta, the Mexican version of a hamburger. I know you're not from around here. Most of the natives here look like me. We're proud Mayan descendants. We may be short and dark-skinned, but don't be fooled by appearances. Are you a Chilango? Are you from Mexico City? No. I'm from Michoacan. I ain't no Chilango. I'm also native. I have a Tarascan blood, I said, holding the janitor's stare. How come you look white and talk like a Chilango? The janitor asked. Why was this old man getting me confused with a Chilango? The word Chilango describing people from Mexico City had a derogatory connotation. Chilangos were proud to be from Mexico City and they could call each other Chilangos, but they did not like other people calling them Chilangos. This reminded me of the N-word used for African Americans in the U.S. It was okay for them to use it with each other, but it was not okay for a non-African American to use the term. Chilangos reminded me also of people from New York City. They seemed to look down on other people and had the appearance of being know-it-alls. Excuse me, ñero. A young man started conversation with me. Ñero? That's a Chilango word right there, I thought, looking up at the young man, butting into the janitor and my conversation. It seemed as if the Chilango had heard the Chilango conversation and wanted to make his presence known. What's up? I answered. Did you find a job yet? Asked the Chilango. I've noticed you looking at the classifieds. I've been sleeping on the other side of the bus station and I'm looking for a job too. No, not yet. Why do you ask? I asked suspiciously. Well, I think your search is over, said the Chilango matter-of-factly. El Sindicato, the labor union, is recruiting people to work in a resort, and I know who does the hiring. I was really worried now. Were the janitor and the Chilango informants, or were they just two people trying to help me? I took the Chilangos over to go apply for a job at El Sindicato. It was a great thing to work for El Sindicato. Much like in the US, was a labor union. It protected employees from greedy employers. The problem was, in Mexico, at that time anyway, to join the union, the prospective employee had to pay a bribe worth half of the first paycheck, and then, besides the monthly dues, monthly kickbacks had to be paid. It was okay because while it felt like an extortion, the pay was great, and the working conditions were also nice. Do you agree to the terms of the union contract? Asked the labor union rep to me and El Chilango. Of course, I said. What about you, ñero? The rep pierced through the Chilango's smug face. It looks like you don't like the terms. Nah, that's fine. The terms are fine, said El Chilango. Okay, sign right here, guys. Welcome to El Sindicato, smiled the union rep. 2 weeks later, when I got my first fat paycheck, I was exhilarated, but frowned when I remember that half of it had to be paid in cash to El Sindicato. So I cashed the check to pay my debt. What are you doing, Elio? Said El Chilango, angry. We're not paying those mother effers nothing. We have rights, you know. We don't have to pay anything. You do what you have to do, ñero. Me, I gave my word. I accepted the terms. I don't like it, but I gave my word. So, you do what you have to do, and I'll do what I have to do, I said. That was the last time I saw El Chilango. What happened? Well, El Sindicato had plenty of resources and plenty of ways to get rid of troublemakers. They didn't need fast-talking and clever Chilangos to interfere in their bribing and extortion schemes. After that job in banquets working as a waiter, I moved to Isla Mujeres, Women's Island, about an hour ride on a ferry to this island off the coast of Cancun. There I worked as a hotel receptionist, as a waiter, and as a bartender. How was it working in Isla Mujeres? Well, without getting into many details, it felt as if it was spring break 24/7, year-round, for the tourists and for me. Tourists from all over the world visited the island. Every week there was a fresh group of friendly and good-looking foreigners. Besides my job at the hotel, I was also a tour guide. If the tourists were single and gorgeous, Canadian, American, Italian, and, among other nationalities, Swedish women, I'd be the tour guide and partying buddy. If the tourists came as a family with a beautiful daughter, the scenario looked like this. "Welcome to Isla Mujeres, Mr. Bergenden," I'd greet the blonde-looking Dane while registering him and his family at the hotel's computer reception, and managing to check out his blonde, blue-eyed daughter, who looked like a Greek goddess. "Good morgen," Mr. Bergenden would answer. "Mr. Bergenden, I could help you have an even better vacation on this magical island," I would propose. "What do you mean, Elio?" the older gentleman would ask, puzzled, looking at my name tag. "Well, so you and your beautiful wife can have some adult time together and enjoy your second honeymoon, I could take..." I paused while I looked at the registration card. "I could take Astrid." "Is that your name?" "I could take Astrid to town and make sure that nobody bothers her," I'll tell Mr. Bergenden, stealing a quick look at the Greek goddess' hypnotizing eyes. "Oh, Elio, we don't want to impose. We don't want to trouble you." "Impose? Oh my God, imposed?" My mind screamed. Then I would say, "Oh no, sir, it's no trouble, really. It'd be my pleasure, in more ways than one." "Okay, one condition," Mr. Bergenden would say with a rascalish smirk on his face. "Anything, sir," I would say. "Make sure that she eats. As you see, she needs to put some meat on her bones." "Are you kidding me? She's a perfect 10. I would think and then say, "Well, sir, yes, I could do that, but I don't get paid until tomorrow, so..." "Oh, I didn't mean for you to pay. Here are $200 so you can show Astrid a good time in Mexico." Mr. Bergenden would quickly interrupt me and give me the money. "Oh my God, are you effing joking? I will go out with Astrid? With Astrid? And I'll be paid?" "Absolutely, sir. I'll make sure your daughter has the time of her life," I would say, thinking a devilish smile. At any rate, that was my life in Isla Mujeres. Every week, a similar story would repeat. Sometimes better, sometimes worse. Until I phoned my mom to see how she was doing and how things were in Apatzingan. "Mijo, we have a problem," my mom said in a somber tone. "Oh, why? What happened, Mom?" I said worriedly. "Well, your girlfriend is here." "What girlfriend?" "Moni," my mom said curtly. "What Moni?" I asked confused. The only Moni I knew was my ex-girlfriend. "Moni from Tijuana," Mom said. "What? What is she doing there?" I asked. "Well, why don't I let you talk to her? I'm sure you guys have a lot to talk about." "Hola?" Moni's smooth voice came to the other side of the line. "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing in Apatzingan? That's so far away from Tijuana, isn't it?" I asked, trying to be funny. How do I say this? Well, I'm pregnant." "I see." It felt like somebody had just kicked me in the gut. "What are you going to do?" I said, not knowing what to say. "Well, I'm going to have the baby. I know you'll be traveling around the world and I wanted you to know that we'll have a child," she said matter-of-factly. "Okay, I have to go. I have to go back to work now," I told her and hung up the phone, pondering this new challenge. That night in Isla Mujeres was the longest night I'd ever had. I couldn't sleep. I went to the green and blue waters beach of the island and stared at the reflection of the moon. The optical illusion looked like those mirages people see in the desert. The mirages that I saw looked like trains, like buses, like ships and like planes, all of them leaving without me. The mirages reflected a man with his packed luggage running down the station, missing his train, missing his bus, missing his ship, and missing his plane. She's pregnant. She's pregnant, I kept on thinking. I couldn't believe it. She can't be pregnant. I have to call my mom at her work. I'll call her first thing in the morning. Ring, ring. See? My mom picked up the phone. Mom? Sí, mijo. Are you okay? She asked, feeling the anxiety in my voice. Mom, I don't want to get married, I said decisively, almost as in suggesting that I was not going to be convinced otherwise. Then don't get married, mijo, my mom said. She was an awesome mom, a fantastic friend, and an amazing counselor. She was never judgmental. Yeah, but I don't want to leave her hanging either, I said, not sure how to go about this. Then don't leave her hanging, mijo, she said in a way a therapist answers and mirrors an ambivalent client. What should I do, Mom? I don't know, son. What do you want to do? She asked, totally detached. Well, I don't want to marry, I said firmly again. Don't get married then, she said in a very understanding tone. Yeah, but I don't want to leave her hanging either, I said in an honorable way. Don't leave her hanging then, mijo, my mom said again. Well, what should I do, Mom? I said impatiently. I don't know, mijo. What do you want to do? My mom started to sound like a broken record. The conversation went like this for a few minutes. Well, what I'm trying to say here, Mom, is that I need your advice. I'm in the middle of a problem of the size of Africa, and I feel like you're not helping, I said, frustrated. Wait a minute. You want me to help? How? She asked, confused. Well, tell me. What should I do? I said. No, mijo. It don't work like that. This is your life. You don't call me to get advice when you go out with girls, do you? She said firmly. This is your life, mijo. Your decision. Your life. I'll support whatever decision you make. When it comes to getting married, Mexicans are much different than Americans. When Americans propose marriage to their fiancés, they go all the way. When the guy knows he wants to marry his girlfriend, he makes a big deal. For example, I've seen and heard plenty of American Romeos who invite the girlfriend to a restaurant. They hire a mariachi, a band, or prepare some sort of ambience music. After that, they tip the waiter so that he or she brings their martini, wine, or preferred drink to the table. But wait, what is that at the bottom of the drink? Oh my God, is that what I think it is? Oh my love, is that an engagement ring? Oh my God. At this point in the process, the guy kneels down in front of the girl, the mariachis come from out of nowhere and start playing Cielito Lindo or whatever song the girl likes. At the same time, everybody in the restaurant, cooks, waiters, manager, and customers stand on their feet and start clapping and screaming. The girl says yes, the guy stands up, or she leans down. They kiss, they get married, and they live happily ever after. Mexicans, on the other hand, do it a little differently. For starters, notice how big the American process above is compared to this Mexican paragraph. When a Mexican knows that his girlfriend is pregnant, he usually says, "Shit, I have to go talk to your parents." And that's it. That's how Mexicans get married. Simple, isn't it? Well, I guess not all Mexicans do that, but I thought I would have fun with that stereotype. Back to the end of my story in Cancun. I asked Moni to come to Isla Mujeres with me. She said yes, but she didn't like the Caribbean island, so we moved back to Tijuana. A few months later, she went to Anaheim and gave birth to our son Elio. Later, Diego, my other son, was born, and after other big life changes, many years later, Brittany, my daughter, was born.
Juan, Colorado me llaman, soy señores de Michoacán. Hasta los más salidones al mirarme muchos se van. Traigo mi cuerpo una silla que es de cuero, plata y marfil. que viva mi tierra Michoacán y deme charanda para brindar, que Juan Colorado ya está aquí, montado en su cuaco en huracán. Cuando me encuentro resuelto que de frente quiera pelear, con mi pistola y machete por mi suerte yo he de ganar, que viva mi tierra Michoacán y deme charanda para brindar, que Juan Colorado ya se va, montado en su cuenco en huracán.